Okay, today we're going to review mixed patterns 1 through 5. So all of this you should know by now, but sometimes it's nice to have a little reminder. All right, let's remember the parts of a sentence. Each sentence has these core parts: a subject, a verb, a complete sense, capital letter, and an end mark too. Let's look at pattern 1. The core parts of a pattern 1 sentence, including what a sentence has to have in order to be a sentence. We just have to have a subject, noun, and a verb. So here are 2 examples. Boys laughed, and Ginger jumped over the gate. Now, in a pattern 1 sentence, remember we can have lots of things to spice it up. We have our prepositional phrases, we have adjectives and adverbs that we can use to spice up our language. Pattern 2 has these core parts: subject, noun, a verb, which is transitive, and a direct object. Some examples would be, Jesus loves me, and the big kid helped him across the street. Again, we can have adjectives and adverbs to spice up our language, but we have to have a subject, noun, a verb transitive, and a direct object for a pattern 2 sentence. A pattern 3 adds in the indirect object. Now remember, the indirect object comes before the direct object. Remember in the video I talked about how the indirect object is the birthday kid and the direct object is the present. Jesus gives me love. He doesn't give me, he gives love to me. The big kid threw her the ball. Threw it to whom? Her. So again, not throwing her, he threw the ball. Probably wouldn't go over very well if he threw her. All right. Pattern 4 is completely different because it has a subject, noun, a linking verb, not an action verb, and a predicate noun. So Mrs. Ear is my teacher. Is your linking verb. Remember, linking verbs are like is, are, was, were. Looks becomes feels and grows. And then we have another example, adding in some extra language with the adverb, the adjectives, not the adverb. The silly boy is my brother. Remember in linking verb sentences where we can switch it around. Think about those baby chains that you can put together. You can flip the chain either direction, but it still means the same. So Mrs. Ear is my teacher becomes my teacher is Mrs. Ear, and my brother is the silly boy. I can say it backwards and forwards. Pattern 5 has the core parts: subject, noun, linking verb, predicate, adjective. For example, Jesus is loving. What is Jesus? Loving. Does loving mean the same thing as Jesus? No, but it's describing the subject, noun. So it's an adjective in the predicate part of the sentence describing the subject. So my brother is silly. Silly is describing brother. Now it's your turn. You're going to pause it here and copy the sentences and write each pattern that each one is. You don't have to label it, but you can if you would like, and I'll check it for you. Shelley sang the song. My friend bought us the meal. Jesus loves. Billy is a police officer. The bunny hopped. So take a minute to write those down and then write what the pattern is onto the side of it. Or you can label it like normal. And I will check it. I look forward to seeing your answers.